many of you heard the principles of medicine? Right? We are taught the principles of medicine. We call them the principles of naturopathic medicine, but really they're actually the principles of medicine. And the only difference, we're taught those. So we have to, I think that's a differentiator with what naturopathic doctors can do. And okay, so this is all well and good. We have principles, I saw them, great. But I'm a human, and going about my life, being like, I thought I had good intentions. I thought I was doing great. So what am I going to do? So I'm in second year. I decided to take a year off between my second and third year. And the reason is I wanted to start a business. As you know, I came here because I wanted to do business. I wanted to be in health business. And I started by building websites for other naturopathic doctors and other practitioners. So I started a web marketing company that year. And I liked to build websites. That was just something I liked to do. And this was pre-Squarespace, like pre-Wix. Have you guys heard of these things? How many of you have a website? Yeah, amazing, okay. So most of you can do this and have already thought of this. Or a lot of you are at least thinking about it. You're thinking, oh, I need to build a website. Well, at the time, it wasn't that easy to build a website. And I could code it, so it was great. I talked to a bunch of fourth years and new grads, and I was like, hey, can I build you a website? Will you pay me? And I realized no one had any money. But I still worked with some practitioners, and I got to the point where I actually had like a paying client. One that, was like, they were chiropodists. Do you know what those are? They're like podiatrists, but they're licensed in Ontario under the name chiropody, C-H-R-O. I should stop spelling. But yes, so I was working with chiropodists, and then I was able to build a website, and I had contracted out some of the work to other coders and developers and graphic designers, so I could deliver more of a full stack thing, which include like logos and things like that. So that's what I was doing in my second year off. I also did some research at the Ontario Brain Institute, and we were doing epilepsy research on polyunsaturated fatty acids, so fish oils, and epilepsy, which was really cool. And I was able to do a few other things as well. But the key is, when I tried to sell websites at first, I was like, okay, let me just go out there and try it. And boy, did I fall on my face. So I was walking around in the junction one day, and I walked in, I was like, I'm just gonna try this. It was terrifying, but I was like, I'm just gonna try this. And I was talking to people, trying to get to know their stories. I've been taught all these sales techniques, like, these are the things you need to do. You need to walk in and like be confident and say all the right things, and then they're gonna wanna buy your product, right? Sounds simple enough. So I walked in, did all those things, was listening to them, finding their pain point, and then I realized that it was completely contrived. Like, I was there to get something from them, and they could feel it, they could smell it on me. Like the desperation, I want this sale, I want to make your website. And it's not that the product wasn't good, I was still able to make a good website for people, as good as anyone else. But it was the intention and the reason I was there. And also, I didn't have that integrity, that integrity, like the raison d'etre, like this is why I'm here. And this person believes in what they do, and they have the principles. So I had no principles. But I was going in trying to be good at sales, which I realized did not work. It didn't work, and it doesn't work. And anyone who tells you, go in and just say this thing off the script, hasn't done it, because that's not how it works. Do you know what I mean? Does it make sense? So I had good intentions, but then I was like, what do I do? What do I do now? Like, how do I do this? So I said, you know what, the reason they don't trust me is because I don't really trust myself. Like, I've only made a couple websites. I've never done it for a health provider. I didn't trust myself at the time. So then I had to develop that trust. And I had to build a moral code of ethics. So like some non-negotiables in my life. So I thought, the principles of medicine were good because they're the ones that, the reason why I became a naturopathic doctor, and agree with the principles. And I started applying them to my life. And then I thought, what else? What else matters to me? Well, I want to be a compassionate person. Part of the reason why sales feels icky, this is what my friend Tad Hargrave says at Marketing for Hippies. So that's his company, marketingforhippies.com. He's great resource, lots of free stuff on his blog. So Tad always says, like, marketing feels icky when it's like not really about finding a fit, but it's you're trying to get something from someone. So sales and marketing is actually about fit. It has nothing to do with imposing your beliefs. And so that was one of my principles, was to say, like, it's gotta feel good. So how can it feel good? Well, I have to really just focus on compassion, kindness, unconditional love. You know, to me that was very important to say, like, this person has some pain, has difficulty in their life. Maybe the pain is that they don't have a website, but it doesn't matter. Like, they have real pain. Like, where is that really coming from? They feel desperate for a website because they've got mouths to feed, you know, and they are paying to keep the lights on and they can't do it. So it's like, where is that coming from? Digging deep. And then also, I have to have those things, compassion, kindness, unconditional love, for myself. To say, oh yeah, well, I'm a student and I didn't go to business, like I haven't worked in traditional sales companies, so like I have to cut myself some slack here. It's my first time. And so having a bit of compassion. And also, compassion for yourself is also like hashtag boundaries. Like, then you know exactly what doesn't serve you. You're like, oh, that's not for me. Also, another principle of mine was forgiveness. I was like, you know, make a mistake. I like to forgive others. Well, I gotta learn how to forgive myself. So I was really heavy on forgiveness. And then obviously those three tenets. So freedom. What does freedom really mean? Well, freedom meant independence for me. It's to me, freedom is freedom from oppression. Like, that's actually a big part of the work that we do. And I mean we, as in like we, the folks at my clinic, and freedom, you know, freedom for pursuit of happiness. I mean, look at the Charter of Rights. So freedom, harmony with nature, of course, and what that extended to me was sustainability. So we talk about zero waste movements, we talk about, you know, recycling. But what is sustainability? How can you build sustainability and how can you extend it beyond the physical? So to me, that meant financial sustainability, not just for myself, but for every single person I choose to employ, for every single person I choose to work with in my organization. I say, how can we achieve sustainability for you? Because that extends to the belief of harmony with nature, leaving no footprint, right? Just a footprint. Is that the phrase? Just a footprint. And then the next was peace. I don't like to fight. So how do I really hold on? To me, that was a principle. You have to hold it. I have to commit myself to peace. That means not arguing with anyone in my clinic, but really focusing on a peaceful resolution. That means in my personal relationships, digging up the power and the courage to say, oh yeah, let's have a talk. Instead of, you know, slamming the door or all of the, you know, inner child terror actions that I could do. So peace, I was like, okay, that's good. Okay, so I have a list of principles at this point, and I'm like, okay, let's try. And this is the thing, I'm still messing up all the time. And you're gonna mess up. You're gonna mess up all the time. But at least I had some principles, and at least I want to live an integrous life. That's it. That's all you need. So this was the result. Before licensure, so I had graduated, and before I got my license, this is what had happened. I started and ran 3 successful businesses from a strategic level. And that included a nonprofit organization of which I became the executive director, which is likened to a CEO. So I was working directly with the board, the chair of the board of this organization, and it was called the Women's Healthy Environments Network. So we worked at the intersect of health and environment and women's rights. Another business was, I was consulting at the business development level, and we were doing operations, and just from the start, it was a startup. So we're going from the ground up, and it's a real estate investment firm. So we would not just buy and sell properties, but we were structuring entire portfolios. People with money that wanted to invest in the real estate market, how do you do that? And then how do you structure property management and operations and hire people and contract it out? So we were doing that. So that was my second thing. And then the third thing was I was running a website building business, which, you know, we say is web marketing or online presence building, you know, all the vernacular, but that's what it was. So I was doing those three things. And then this is before licensure. The other thing is, I had done my research with the Ontario Brain Institute, so we published a paper, and I was able to give us a talk that year as well at the Society of Autonomous Neurodynamics, and that was a congress that was that year held in Paris at the Pasteur Institute. So that was a real honor. I was super grateful to be asked. And what I talked about wasn't the paper; it was about naturopathic medicine and neurology, and where we were at in terms of, you know, the research, and I also just, again, focused on principles. So that was a real, like, treat. It was a good reason to be in Paris. And at the same time, that lined up with my first international congress on naturopathic medicine. And that was the first time that I'd ever been to an international congress. It was the second congress ever. Have any of you been there? To ICNM. So it's called ICNM. You can follow us on Instagram. And now I'm the ambassador for the organization, and I do a lot of the marketing. So I run all the strategic marketing globally. And this was, again, something I had done before I got my ND license. Something else was I had started the groundwork for a collaborative clinic, so with my friends, because one of my tenets was, I really want to work with my friends. Like, at the end of the day, you know, we were eating in the cafeteria, a few of my classmates and I, two of them. And we would eat in the cafeteria and we would get water at that, like, reverse osmosis. You know what I'm talking about. Okay, so we get water there, like, all the time. And we're like, this is our water cooler. Like, this is, you know, in the office when you, like, go to the water cooler because you're procrastinating from work and you just want to, like, hang out. You're like, this is our water cooler. This is what we want our clinic to be like. The water cooler. Okay, so it's a bad joke, but just roll with it. So we had our water cooler, and that was the intention. And we started meeting. I started a group of 7 practitioners, and one of them was my sister, who's a traditional Chinese medicine practitioner. But we also had other providers, physical therapists, those 15 years in practice, doing their own private practices, now psychologists, psychotherapists as well. Other naturopathic doctors, Ayurvedic practitioner, and another acupuncturist and traditional Chinese medicine doctor. So we were meeting online. We started meeting regularly. That was really exciting, and we laid the groundwork for what was to be our clinic. And then the last, I did some other things that I had. I was very happy at the time, but I had, you know, a couple of things under my belt, and I didn't even have my ND license yet. So the reason I'm bringing that up is, well, now after I got my license, what was great is it became really easy. It was really fast for us to succeed. And I say us because I couldn't have done it without my friends. We wanted to run a collaborative clinic. We wanted to work peacefully in relation to each other. We wanted to build a financially sustainable business model for integrative care. And so how do you do that? You can't do that alone. You can't build a collaborative model alone. Okay? If you're starting, you can't start without someone else. It needs at least one other person. So, and now we were very quick, finally, once I got my license. So I was able to start a full practice. That's what I have now. I have a full practice downtown Toronto. I work in financial district. I only have to work like 2 days a week. I work a third day sometimes for fun. And they're really cool, like I like them. Everyone always brings food. And it's a clinic that is a rehab clinic, so massage and rehab clinic. Not for everyone, but it's good for me. I have a sports background. And I give rounds every 6 to 8 weeks to about 55 providers.